Hey guys, it's me. I'm back after so much frustration with just the blog. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Hopefully things will be fine from here on out. But I just appreciate everyone's emails, all that sort of stuff. That was great. So long story short, things just kept getting infected with malware. So hopefully things are now taken care of and fine. But we're back, hopefully for good and for a while. So that's great. So it's not private. I would never make my blog private. And so I want it to be shared with however many people want to read it. So if that was just to ultimately make it so whatever mess was going on the whole time, like kind of behind the scenes, that you guys weren't seeing that because it was just messy. So know that my blog will never go private. I never want that to happen. So we're going to go through some questions, all that good stuff. I'm so sorry that the video is a little pixelated again. I'm going to start Googling how to fix that and stuff, but I just don't know what the issue is. So I'll figure it out, and hopefully the quality of these will get better soon. So I apologize for that. I'll try not to move as much because it seems like it gets blurry when I do. Alrighty, so this week, the New York Marathon is on Sunday, so I am super duper pumped about that, just because I'm very ready for marathon training to be over. I feel like this, for the past couple of months, I've been fighting a lot of nagging injuries, and I never got injured ever until like this past year, so probably with everything else going on. So I'm pumped to run the marathon, but I'm also very ready for it to be over and just to not feel obligated to work out. I love working out, but I just don't want to feel like I'm sticking to a plan. So yeah, I think that I love the thought of a plan sometimes, and then by the end, I'm like so ready to just kind of exercise intuitively and kind of do what I want when I want. So I'm very excited for Sunday. I'll share my bib number on social media if any of you guys are interested in tracking me or are going to be there or whatever. Some of you are probably like, I do not care, girl. But if you do, I'll share my bib number and you can track me if you want to. So I'm very, very excited about that. So I hope you guys have some fun things planned too. Unfortunately, I won't be dressing up for Halloween because of the marathon. On Sunday, I have to catch like a 5:30 a.m. ferry to Staten Island, so I'm not going out. I'll be in my bed. So I hope you guys have some fun things planned and ways to dress up for Halloween, and that's going to be super exciting. So, alrighty. So also, I'm very excited that the October month of travel is over. I was gone every weekend in October, and it was just a lot. So super fun, all fun things. But I'm very excited to kind of settle in for the winter. My brothers are coming to visit on November 14th that weekend, so I'm pumped up about that. And then I'll really just be here through Thanksgiving until Christmas. So that's exciting. We'll be in the city for Thanksgiving and then traveling home for Christmas. So that'll be great. Alrighty, so let's get to some questions. I'm going to start, two of them kind of go together and are more in like the eating disorder realm, and then one question is more about nutrition. So, alrighty, so let's talk about one of these questions. It's kind of simple to answer while we're on the topic of marathon training. Is kind of pre-workout, post-workout, what to eat. So her question was, she's kind of been getting more into like morning working out and just wants to, sometimes she wakes up hungry and she's not working out very intensely, maybe 30 or 45 minutes. So it's not like, a super long run or something, but just wanted to know what she should eat that would sit well with her stomach. And that would also give her energy on her run and kind of calm down those hunger cues. So this is kind of the guideline that I follow. So if you're not working out for more than like an hour is kind of my like guideline. The more that I've gotten to more like long distance endurance running, I can go up to 18 miles without eating anything during the run. If I wake up in the morning, if I'm running anything over 10 miles, I'll eat something. But I can go, if I eat like a late night snack, I tend to eat dinner late and then I eat like up until like 30 minutes before I go to bed. So I usually go like 10 miles without eating something in the morning, or like an hour and a half. But that's me. That's not everyone else. But I think a general guideline is that if you're going more than, let's say, an hour working out, I would say eat something. And then, but if your stomach's growling when you wake up, no matter what, eat something. So if you're hungry right when you get out of bed, eat something. Or if you're working out for more than an hour, eat something. So that's going to depend on kind of what your workout looks like. If you're just going to the gym to lift weights and stuff like that, I would say you can have like a little bit of protein and a little bit more fat than you would if you were going to go do strictly cardio. So if you're going to do like strength or something like that, I would say you could have, you could even just do like a palm full of almonds or something like that. So something that's more fat and protein based, or maybe it's mainly almonds with a little bit of dried fruit, or like a half of a Lara bar or something like that. It's going to have more fat in it. If you're going to go out mainly to do more strictly cardio, I stick to more like strictly carbohydrate. So that would be like, my favorite is just a banana with like a little bit of peanut butter. Not too much, because that's going to sit heavier in your stomach from the fat and the protein. But like a banana, which is straight glucose, a pretty concentrated source. I also love dried fruit. So like dried mango, dried apricots, a little bit of that, a couple dried dates is perfect. Actually, dried dates dipped in coconut oil is probably your best pre-workout snack, because you have all of the glucose, that's super quick energy, very simple carbohydrate from the dates, and then you have medium chain triglycerides in the coconut oil. And that is actually, since it's medium chain, it doesn't have to enter into our lymphatic system. It can actually go straight into the bloodstream to be metabolized by the liver, and therefore you basically get energy that's coming from fat, but that's actually utilized just like a carbohydrate, if that makes sense. So since it's a medium chain triglyceride, it doesn't have to be packaged up into a chylomicron and go into a different digestive process. It can actually be utilized immediately. So you don't get, all that to say, great source of energy. I won't elaborate too much on that, but that's great. So coconut butter, even on a dried date or something like that, is great pre-workout. So cardio, stick to carbohydrates. If you're doing more weightlifting and strength training, you can eat more like protein and fat. Alrighty, next question. So our next question is going to be, having come from an eating disordered past, I struggle with the fear of being hungry. I literally feel hungry most of the day, even after a good normal size meal. I know I shouldn't be eating, she gives a number, 3,000 calories a day, as I'm only moderately active. And how do you restore balance to your ghrelin and leptin levels? So ghrelin is the hormone that says you're hungry. It's our appetite hormone, and leptin is the hormone that tells you you're full. And so for a myriad of reasons, those can get a little bit off balance, or a lot off balance. So coming from a restrictive history, and saying that I shouldn't be hungry for X amount of calories, is actually false. Your body is the best indicator of how much you should be eating. And if you're hungry, that means you should eat. And so, of course, sleep and exercise and stress are going to affect our hunger. If we don't get enough sleep, then our leptin levels, leptin doesn't get released like it should. And so we therefore don't get a satiation or a satisfaction or a fullness feeling like we should. So that can affect that. But from where you're talking about, coming from a restrictive history and then feeling like you're always hungry, that actually could be true hunger. And so if you're coming from a restricted history, I have clients who are eating lots more than you should read in a magazine of how much you should eat. And that's because it's kind of like a credit card. So if you're coming from a restrictive history, your body, you've accumulated a large amount of caloric debt. And so your body's been deprived of calories for a long amount of time. And so that amount is going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And therefore you can't, when you start to restore back to a normal weight and start to restore your body, calorically and nutrient-wise, you can't just say, okay, I'm just going to eat at maintenance level, because you haven't been eating at maintenance level for a long amount of time. You've accumulated all this debt. And so it's just like when you spend money on a credit card. If you're spending money on that credit card, if you're cutting calories, but you're not repleting those calories, over time you're going to start building up interest. And so when you go to, pay off the credit card, you have to pay back all the money that you already spent. You can't just pay off that monthly balance and then expect it all to be paid off. It's not going to. Same thing with your body. So when you come from a restrictive history and you're starting to restore your body back to a healthy weight, oftentimes you also have to eat more than a normal amount, because your body's just been freaking starved for a long amount of time. So I would say there's no normal amount. And if you're recovering from anorexia or any sort of restrictive history, then your body needs more, because you're trying to replete and you're trying to heal. So you're trying to repair tissue, you're trying to regenerate cells. Everything that's been damaged needs to be healed, and that's going to ultimately take energy. And so I would encourage you to not necessarily go by, what's normal, but to ultimately really listen to your body. And if it's hungry, the only signal you need and justification you need to eat is your hunger signals going off and your stomach growling. So I hope that answers that question. Email me if you have more, because that can also be a very individualized question that would need to be hashed out a little bit more and dialogued about. Okay, the last question I want to get to, even though I know we're at 10 minutes, because it kind of piggybacks off of that. She said, I would love a post or your opinion on how to not swing the other way when recovering from restrictive eating habits. So she's currently working on not restricting, but then also finds herself feeling full or overeating. And she's faced with anxiety about that. So that's a pretty common theme, is to go from restrictive almost to swing to the other side of an eating disorder, to almost where you feel like you're out of control or always feeling super full. And so with that, I would say that is just coming from a lack of trust within your body. And so this is what I work a lot with my clients on, is building trust and confidence in your food choices. Because for so long, you've just been restricting and dampening and not actually responding to hunger cues. Or if you've always been a slave to like calorie counting, or sticking to a specific meal plan, you don't trust yourself to make food choices outside of a plan, or outside of all these objective outside parameters that help you feel confident in your food choices. And so it's starting to trust a subjective indicator of how much you should eat. And that's like, what am I craving, and how much food am I hungry for? And then eating according to that hunger. And starting to gain trust and confidence in being able to do that can take time. And so oftentimes when we give ourselves the freedom to eat, if you're coming out of a history of restriction, it can often be like, if a kid never gets candy and all of a sudden he goes to his friend's house and eats candy, he's going to eat the whole freaking candy jar because he never gets candy. So it's kind of that same sort of mentality of like, your body's been deprived for so long and now you allow yourself the freedom to eat, and you're just going to be like, I just want it all because I've been restricting it for so long. So that would be something that's going to take a lot of practice. So give yourself a lot of patience and grace as you learn to kind of more mindfully eat and to gain that trust and confidence in your own food choices. And sometimes that might mean reaching out for some help to a dietitian, whether that's someone locally or whatever you might need or whatever that might look like in your life. But know to give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of patience as you basically relearn to eat again and relearn to trust your body. So I hope that answers that. Those kind of both went together. All right, we'll wrap up with that. I hope you guys have a restful weekend and something fun planned for Halloween. I'll be in my bed at like 8 o'clock at night. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And remember, set your clocks back. We get a whole extra hour on Sunday. It's my favorite day of the whole year because we get more hours in the day. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.